Today we are at Big Wheels in Arndale Park, and we're actually installing an in-ground flush brake test system for heavy and light vehicles. Please watch the video carefully. It's a very simple operation, and we're looking forward to talking to you in the future.
The first step is to choose the location. This can be indoors or outdoors. This particular unit is particularly convenient as it mounts flush to the ground, so it won't be an impediment or a risk hazard to your work environment. A site plan is provided showing the dimensions of the concrete cut. To get the best results, it's important that the site is as flat and level as possible. Everything you need will be delivered. The frames, cabinet, computer, printer, screen, camera, cabling, electronics, junction boxes, the industrial grout, and various jigs, brackets, straps and all the hardware pieces needed for the installation process. There is a separate video on the assembly of the cabinet assembly and setup of the electronic equipment, so we're not going to cover that in this video.
At SafeTstop, a clean environment is a happy environment.
Here Brad double checks the cutout dimensions and uses this tool to check the bed depth to figure out how much Durabed industrial grout he's going to need.
While we did the depth check, we also found where the fall was in each pit, because that will vary, and that lets us know a little bit about where the Durabed is going to be most needed in the pits.
A single cable runs between the pits, so Brad is cutting a small channel between them. The cables from the control cabinet will need to be routed without kinking or restriction, so we'll just relieve these corners a bit. The frames weigh 250 kilograms each, so you would typically use a forklift to lift and position them. Here the boys have a jig and a winch to make life easy. You could do this manually with a number of workers using the straps and handles provided.
So Brad's completed the concrete cut. We're just prepping the next bit. We've got slings ready now to put into the first tub, to pick that tub up and position it in place to go into the first pit.
So what we're going to do now is remove the corner bolts and attach the lifting device.
We'll mix up some grout for the first pit.
This batch of Durabed that we've mixed up is a bit runnier than normal, as this side of the pit is very shallow and it doesn't need a lot. So if it requires more, then we'll make it a little bit thicker.
This looks about the right consistency. As I said, these lifting brackets, the straps, eyelets and handles are all included. They work the Durabed round until it sits nice and flush and perfectly level. There we are, perfect job. More mud for the second pit. Best to do them one at a time.
It's important that the plates are actually using the spirit level and nice and level, even if the concrete surround isn't.
Yes, as level as possible is what we're looking for. That'll achieve best results for the test.
You swim the plates around to ensure the two sections are aligned and nice and square with each other. There'll be plenty of time before the Durabed hardens, so take your time to get this spot on. Once they're firmly set in place, remove the brackets. Now remove the 4 bolts on the yellow weighbridge section and lift the plate. Please use the handles provided for your safety. Similarly, here we remove the bolts to get access to the brake tester section. The lifting handles are supplied. Also remove the one large bolt in the middle of the plate. And off it comes. A little more relieving is needed. Now the cables are routed to the left and right load sensor junction boxes. You don't have to keep track of which is left and right at this stage. We can easily figure that out when they're connected to the black box at the computer end and swap them over if necessary.
Yeah, you don't want to run it the other side because of this.
Oh yeah.
That could end up right.
Just nice and finger tight on the output terminals and double check all the connections are nice and snug. Route the cables so there's no risk of them fouling or kinking or obstruction. No tight turns. The Durabond does a great job locking the frames in place, but just to be sure, 4 dyno bolts each to keep them firmly in the ground. Regardless of the size of the truck you put over them, they're not moving now. Okay, that's the hard part done. So more silicone and grout to tidy up the site. Make the job super neat and tidy. You should never need to get access to these 2 cables again, so silicone in place. Well, that's it for the hardware install. There are separate videos about the setup of the computer cabinet and also training videos on its operation.